In this lesson, we are going to talk about how we add and subtract integers. Well, the first thing we should do is just remind ourselves a little bit about integers and the number line. We know that the number line is centered on 0, and as we move to the right, we're moving into the positive direction, and the numbers are getting greater. And when we move to the left, we're moving into the negative direction, and the numbers are getting smaller. Well, what we want to do is we want to see what happens when we are adding and subtracting integers. So let's take two integers here, for example, -2, and we're adding +3. Now, in this method that I'm going to explain to you, whenever you see that you have an integer and an operator together here, so we have basically a sign, this is a plus sign, and the positive sign, sorry, and we have the plus sign, and they are the same sign or symbol, two pluses together, then you can just imagine that you are dealing with one symbol, and when the signs are the same, plus and plus, we're going to take it as plus and work it as we know how. -2 plus 3, we start at -2, and when we add 3, 1, 2, 3, we'll end up at 1. So what we're saying is that when you look at the operator plus and the sign plus, if they're the same, then we just use one symbol, which is the plus sign. Let's look at this with another example. So here in this case, what I want to do is, if for example I have an integer here, it could be any one. Let's choose, for example, the +3, and I'm subtracting -1. Again, in this method, you pause, you look at the symbols. Wherever you have two symbols next to each other, here we have minus and negative, they look the same, then you use effectively a plus. And so you start with this number, -3, and plus here the 1. And so -3 plus 1 means we're moving in this direction, will be -2. So what we're saying is that if the operator and the symbol are the same, then you combine them to make a plus, and then you solve the way you know how to solve already. Now what happens if they are different? Well, let's look at that as an example. If the operator and the symbol are different, well, here for example, let's start with -2, and we're going to add -3. Well, what we do here, when we look at the operator and the sign in front of the number, they are different, plus and minus, then we take them to be a minus. And then we just work with our numbers, -3. We don't put anything else now, just the number 3. And then we use what we know. We're starting on -3, we're subtracting, so we're moving in this direction. And so the answer will be -5. And then similarly, let's take another example. If we are starting here with, let's say, +2, and we're adding here, we have here +3. When we notice that the operator and the sign are different, then they're going to act as a minus. So we're going to have +2, and here we have the 3. And what does it mean? We're starting here +2, and we're moving 1, 2, 3 in this direction. So the answer will be -1. So in order to recap, pay close attention to this. We're saying that when the operator here, the plus, and the next symbol is also a plus, then we're going to let them become a plus. And here, if the operator is a minus and the next symbol is a minus, let's see, add some numbers here, then we're going to make them work together and become also a plus. And whatever number was here is where we start on the number line. Okay. Similarly, we're saying that if the operator is a plus and the sign in front of the number is a minus, then effectively taking them together, we're going to take them as a minus. And so if we were to add a number here, then we'll do it like that. Similarly here, if the operator is a minus and the sign in front of the number is a plus, then together you're going to take them as a minus. So whatever the number is here, that's what it would be. So if you understand that, then you're ready to solve some questions. All you need to do is, when you get a question, look at this example. You might have -6 plus -2. Look at these together. If they're different, take them as a minus. If they're the same, take them as a plus. Okay, over to you. Let's see how you do with this.